Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Al-Najjar, and in today's video I'm gonna show you the, let's say, tower or skyscraper generator that I have made with geometry nodes. If we look here into this screen, we can see that we have a very small cubic building with like glassy windows or glassy edges or surfaces around, and a roof, and also we have the building area itself and also the surrounding area of the building, where it could be like granite or it could be concrete or whatever material of your choice. So I always wondered, how can I create a model of a tower or a skyscraper? This was like very difficult with modeling, and it takes a lot of time. So I spent some time building this geometry node generator. As you can see it here, I'm gonna just show you the big mesh of nodes that I have used to generate or to create this generator, and all of this can be controlled with only the controls into the right hand side that you can see here. But before we start playing and converting this into a big tower of multiple floors and different shapes, or a skyscraper of, let's say, hundreds of floors with different shapes as well, so I would like to ask you to please subscribe in the channel and give us a comment or like for this video if you like it. So let's start by exploring. I'm not gonna show you as a tutorial how I created this, but in this description of this video I will keep the file for you so you can track it and you can tell whatever I have done here. And if you have any difficulties in one of these nodes, why I have it or why I added it, so you can ask me always in the comments and I will answer you. So let's start by exploring these multiple features or multiple attributes that we have here. The first one is the area size, and we can see here that the area size of this building is 4 by 4, so 4 width, 4 length, and you can control it from this attribute here. You can increase the size, you can decrease the size the way you want. So the next one is actually the building surrounding, and this is actually this surrounding let's say a cube of around the building. So you can just increase the surrounding or decrease the surrounding, and with it you can see that the building is expanding as well. But you can also control this by the building diameter, so you can make the building smaller while the surrounding is bigger. So you can control this as well. But for now we're gonna leave it like whatever you would like to have it. We can keep this like this, and the building diameter I can increase it to 1 so there's no surrounding, or decrease it, as we can see here, to a level where we show this surrounding. And this surrounding you can control the height of it through this scroller here, so you can make it higher or lower according to whatever scene that you are building and wherever this building is actually placed in your scene. So this is for this area and the surrounding. Now let's come to the building itself, and we can see that we can have single floor. This is the minimum, and you can increase the number of floors by just increasing this slider here, which is an integer value. And for sure you would like maybe to increase the building height as long as you are increasing the floors, so you can see how much each floor would take out of your building, and then based on that you can increase the building height to reach the level that you would like to have. So for example, this is 5 building or 5 floors, so you can make it this big or you can make it higher the way you want to see it. Okay, so let's start by these settings. I'm gonna increase the height, the building height, and with the building height I will increase actually some of the floors. Okay, so you can see now that the building is looking very big, but actually we can increase the height so each floor might take more than more space, and we can reach up to for example, this level, which is 6. Okay, so we have this tower right now. It's a nice clean tower. Okay, just a cubic tower of long cube tower, as we can see it right now. Okay, and I can increase the number of floors. This much of tower, I think it does not need this much of floors, so we can make it for example 50. So this is a tower of 50 floors, as you can see it now. Now the ratio between the tower and the surrounding becomes suitable, I believe, or something like I like it. Now next is actually the rings factor. This is how I called it. I don't know what you might call it, but this is how I call it myself. It means like I need to put some zigzags in the building somewhere in between. So if I increase the building factor, the default one, it means nothing, okay? But if I increase the rings factor, you will see that these zigzags are showing up here right now, except for the first and a couple of at the end here maybe. Okay, because I don't want to disturb the roof, because we have a roof and we can control the roof later on. Okay, we will see how can we control the roof as well. So this is it. Okay, and you can play with the rings factor. If you increase it, you will get less rings, and you can control actually the size of them, so, or the scale of them. So right now the scale is this. So if you increase the scale, you will have a different shape of this building, as we can see right now. So different shapes with different scale, it gives me a different look of this building. And this is for the rings. Now below the rings, we can see that we have, if you increase more, then you will get less rings, and you can have this much, for example, of rings, maybe 2 rings. That's nice, like this. Okay, and if we go down now, we can see that we have the tilt as well. So we can tilt the building like this or the other way, with a maximum minus point or a minimum minus 0.5 and a maximum 0.5. You can change this in the settings, but I saw that if you increase it more than this, then the rest of the shape or the rest of the components will get distorted and it will not get good results. Now, building diameter, we have mentioned that, so I can increase the building diameter to cover the whole surrounding area, or we can decrease it to become like let's say a slim or something smaller than the surrounding area with a level. But yet you can't go less than 0.5, and you can't go more than 1, because it will cover the whole surrounding area. So this is the building diameter. Now the next one is actually the I called it skewness, because sometimes we need an irregular shape of a building. So this is a regular shape like cube, but sometimes we need irregular shape where the edges that is not like a perfect square at the end. So we can increase the skewness. As you can see now, some of the edges of the building has moved from the center. Some of them remains on the center. So this is the skewness, that we can see the effect of the skewness not in this square, because we can just increase the edges of this building by edges subdivision. If I increase the edges subdivision right now, you will see the effect of this skewness from the top, because it's now irregular shape, as you can see. And while I'm increasing this more and more, you can see it will affect the shape in a different way. And we have here the skewness random factor. It gives me different shapes of this skewness, and we can give this building a different random shape, as we can see right now. If we remove the tilt, if we make it 0, then it looks like better this way. So this is another way of giving random shapes for your buildings in the city. So it's not always like square, or it's not always like ring or something like that. So Down here we have the edges subdivision. As long as you increase the edges subdivision, we can see different looks or different shapes of this building with the skewness, and the rings will interact accordingly. Okay, that's something good. I see it's good. I don't know, you can tell me in the comments if it is good or not. So if I go now to the rings scale and decrease the rings scale, now you can see that the response of my computer becomes a little bit laggy, but it's still nice. Okay, you can give this shape for your tower. We can go down here and talk about the building roundness. That means as long as we have subdivision, so the building will become more and more round, because it will simplify or smooth the edges. But if you don't want this smooth to happen, you can increase the building roundness and you will have sharp edges, as we can see here. Okay, so that's something also you can control. This all gives you different random shapes of your building, and I believe it's nice, it's cool. Okay, now the rest here, down here, we can control the top radius. This is the top of the building, and we have here the top of the building, and I can increase or decrease the radius of it. So with increasing it, you can see it goes into the middle, and then you can increase the height of the top area, as we can see here, and we can also increase the thickness of the top area, so we can give it different shape. Okay, as we can see here. So that's something that you can control. The material that I selected here is just dummy material. You can select the materials down here for all of these components. So we have the ground material, the surrounding material, the main building material, and this is not the main building material, by the way. This is the glass material, because these windows of the building, you can control their height, their width, as we can see down here. So windows, you can subdivide them, and if I subdivide the windows, the tower will look more into a very big tower. It will like double the number of floors if we can see it like this, without playing with the width of the windows. But if I decrease the width of the windows, you will see that the width of the windows right now will show the number of floors. If I put it, for example, 0.8, okay, we will see how the building material below the windows looks right now as the original building material. So these glasses were covering the whole building, but when we decrease the width of them, now the actual building appeared in between. So this is it, how we can have this type of building, for example. Okay, and sorry, okay, we still have some couple of settings here. We can talk about the window width, we say that, and we have also here the window frame extrusion. So I can extrude the window frames a little bit to the outside of the building, as we can see here. Now it's a minor change, because I did not want to have like a very big extrusion, because it will look off and it will corrupt the mesh. So this is another way of having like the window frames like this, and we can also increase or decrease the thickness of the window frames from this attribute down here. So I can decrease the window frames, it becomes like more into small edges or frames, and I can increase it to, I think, I don't know how much, maybe 8.8 or 0.9. 0.8, it will give like a very thick edges. So this is a tower right now, or you can make it a skyscraper. So this depends on what you are trying to achieve here. what we have here, we have materials for different types. So we have for the window frames material as a metal, we have for the main building, this is the concrete material for the building, okay, and we have the ground material, surrounding material, building roof material, top inside material. This is a very I will show it to you right now. The top inside is this edge, actually this one, because actually these are two meshes, so this one needs to take the same as this, and as you can see here sometimes it doesn't match exactly, but I had to do it this way. I didn't find any way better than this. And we have also the top material, which is this material, top material. We have also the windows material, which is the transparent glass that I have selected as the material for these windows. So if we change this right now, we can play with the settings a little bit. I can go to the building, for example, height, and increase it more. Becomes now very laggy because I'm in the render mode, and as well as playing with a lot of settings, and the mesh is becoming bigger. And we can, for example, increase this to 75. Now we have a very big building or tower. Let's change the rings factor, or the yes, the rings factor, and the rings scale. 0.8 is too much. See, it's becoming a little bit laggy here. So let's make it, for example, 0.95. That will give it just a bit of curve here, okay, and here and here. If you don't want it, you can remove it totally. So I can just remove that ring factor to 1, return it to 1. Whatever the ring scale now, it won't make any effect. We have also the subdivision level. We can increase it to or decrease it to 1 for the windows as well. So subdivision 1. Okay, this is another building right now with a bit of skewness. Not the skewness is 0, I mean tilt. With a bit of tilt, we can have this tower right now. So multiple variations and different variations of the same building, you can have it with this generator, and you can play with it the way you want. Let's take for example, the building diameter, increase it a little bit. This is a bigger building. Let's play with the rings factor now. Change the rings factor to 2, and we have a zigzaggy building. Change it to, for example, 5, and we have a different way of rings factor to 5. I don't know what did I change, surrounding height to 5, okay, but because it's totally hidden. So we have this, we can increase it, increase the ring scale, and we can have such as this tower, which looks nice. Again, if we increase this to 7 or 8, it gives a different shape. So as you can see now, we can play with this the way we want. We increase the width to 0.9, for example, it gives me something like this, and if we subdivide it once, that will give another let's say shape for the building. So all of these things, you can control it, and you can put it in your scene, and you can start generating these huge buildings with only a single generator. Now this is a shape. If we take a copy of this, okay, just duplicate it, Shift D, and grab the new one, X, for example, put it beside it, then we can start changing the settings here. Let's decrease the floors to 50 and decrease the height to 6 back again, and let's make it, for example, 45 with a different scale factor or rings factor. Let's make it like 15. Let me see how it will look like. It looks like this. I don't like the way of the scale, rings scale. I'm gonna decrease it to, for example, 0.9. Now we have a different shape of a different building. The tilt 0, and let's increase the subdivision, edges subdivision, and make it a little bit round. Decrease this to 0.5 or 0.3, and we will see the effect now, how this building will change from this shape to, let's say, 0.25 to a round building, because we have the subdivision. So that's a surrounding or a cylinder building. This is a square building, and yes, you can play the way you want. So please, if you like this type of or this generator, just leave a comment and let me know what do you think of it. If you like it, if you are thinking of some enhancements, for example. So if I put this, for example, 40, now it becomes maybe different shape like this, two buildings beside each other. Each one of them has its own shape. With a single generator, you can generate as much as you want of these buildings, and each one has its own properties, its own attributes. It looks different from the next one. You can change the materials and get different look of each of these buildings as well. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your subscription and the likes that you will give me for this generator, because I'm giving you the file for free. It's in the ArtStation as well, in my ArtStation for $1, but whoever watches this video and gives me a like deserves the file for free. Thank you all for watching. See you later.